Good evening and welcome to Medyascope TV's election night broadcast in English. More than 56 million Turks voted in over 180,000 ballot boxes across the country today to have their say in the country's in Turkey's first ever simultaneous presidential and parliamentary election. Polls closed at 5 p.m. local time and vote counting is still underway. While the votes are still being counted, we'll be joined by Cem Toker tonight, who is the former leader of the Liberal Democratic Party. Good evening, Mr. Toker. Welcome to Medyascope TV.
Good evening. Thank you.
So before we start talking with you, let's share the exit polls and the results so far with our viewers. So according to the state-run Anadolu Agency, let me do that again. The exit polls, according to the exit polls, Erdogan was on the lead by 59%. But according to Anadolu Agency now, the state-run agency, Erdogan is now at 52.69%, followed by Muharrem İnce, the main opposition Republican People's Party CHP's candidate, at 30.75%, followed by HDP's candidate Selahattin Demirtaş at 8.04%, and followed by Akşener at 7.43%, Temel Karamollaoğlu by 0.89%, and finally Doğu Perinçek at 0.2%. So before I go on any further with the results, as we're running a bit low on time, let's start with Erdogan's victory speech that he has completed, I believe, about minutes ago. So he has claimed victory, and this was obviously a victory speech, but there still seems to be a discrepancy between the results shared by the state-run Anadolu Agency and the activist platform, the opposition party CHP's activist initiative Adil Seçim Platformu, or the Fair Election Platform. There's a discrepancy between the percentage of the ballot boxes opened so far and other minor contrasts between the percentages. So what do you think about this discrepancy to start with?
I think the difference is the gap is too big to close for the opposition. Even though there are discrepancies, I really doubt it that Erdogan will come anywhere below 50%. Even if he does, he will object to it because he's already delivered his victory speech before the official results are in. So I think this is a done deal now.
But the main opposition Republican People's Party CHP spokesperson Bülent Tezcan said in a statement, and also the CHP's presidential candidate Muharrem İnce said in a tweet that the results coming from Anadolu Agency weren't to be taken seriously. What do you think about these statements?
I agree with the state institutions in the recent 5 years, like the news agency, Anatolian News Agency, or the public television TRT, or even the election board, even the Constitutional Court. All of these state agencies have lost all of their credibility before the eyes of the public because of their biased reporting, biased stance. For example, Anatolian News Agency does this all the time. In every election, they broadcast a balloon, inflated, exaggerated result to influence the public opinion. So they have lost all kinds of credibility. So, I mean, if the results change, if this difference is closed, I really doubt it whether the election board will go by that. So I really think it's a done deal. Even it will be a miracle if the election board agrees with CHP and declares a result below 50% for Erdogan. Erdogan will refuse that result. I don't think he wants to go to a second round.
Let's get to the other opposition parties now. So far, we were mostly focused on Muharrem İnce and the CHP. But in other news, the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party, HDP, seems to have passed the 10% election threshold, not only in the results shared by the independent Adil Seçim platform, but also in the results broadcast by Anadolu agency. So what does this mean, in your opinion, for the future of HDP in the coming period?
This is the HDP's votes. HDP passing the 10% threshold, I believe, is the biggest surprise of this election. HDP was, according to AKP, was tied to terrorism and Kurdish terror groups in North Iraq and so on. They will not be able to have this argument anymore because it will be represented in the parliament, which is a positive development. And in the future, it will not be a surprise if AKP changed this position on HDP and started negotiating and cooperating with them in the parliament for a solution to the problem.
And finally, let's get to the other opposition party, the newly founded Good Party led by Meral Akşener, who was also the Good Party's presidential candidate. So although the People's Alliance, Millet İttifakı, they have reached 34.12% according to the most recent results, İYİ Party seems to have remained at a mere 10%, and again, this is according to the results shared by the Anadolu agency, and Meral Akşener currently stands at 7.42%. Is this a surprise to you at all, and if so, why?
It is not a surprise. I believe Akşener could have done much better if she was given fair coverage in the press, in the government-controlled public and private media circles. She was not provided any airtime at all. She faced a lot of difficulties, illegal, unjust, unfair hurdles put before her. So she did her best. She did all she could. She could have done a lot better and have a better representation in the parliament if this was a fair election.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toker. We will have to conclude it here due to time constraints, but thank you very much for your comments.
All right, you're very welcome. You have a good evening.
So our guest in our special election broadcast tonight was Cem Toker, who is the former leader of the Liberal Democratic Party, who has commented on the exit polls and the current results shared by Adil Seçim Platformu and the Anadolu Agency so far. Thanks for being with us. Bye.